I'm Ellie Aldridge and I'm from Poole in the UK.
I met you last year.
Yeah.
That was the first time I met you here. How is for you coming here to La Ventana for training?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, we're back again this year, so it's been really good. Last year was so productive and we made such a big jump forwards that we had to come back again. It's the only place that you can be in the winter. UK in winter's horrible and you don't really get anything done. So, and kind of similar to all of Europe, so we thought we'd come back here, somewhere that is windy every day and warm every day and it's sunny. It's perfect.
So for you, this event, what does it mean for you? For a lot of riders out there, it's kind of like the benchmark of a year to know where you at, and then from there, because the summer is coming and a lot of competitions, like this is your second time in this event, in the Hydrofoil Protour. Tell me more, like the meaning for you, this event here in Mexico.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly that, like the beginning of the year. So you can kind of compare everyone now and then do a whole summer of training and then most of our big events at the end of summer. So it's a good sort of check-in point. And when you look back at last year, and I remember the beginning of last year being at this event and I could barely I could just about get around the course. And then you compare that to the end of the summer where it's much more like where I am now, actually being able to race. So it's really exciting to see that big jump and then to think about this year and how much we can jump up in this year as well. So it's exciting.
Cool. Now that you are telling me a little bit like your previous experience last year and now this year, we've seen a lot of improvement. You know, I have been seeing you around the course and I've been, with you in the starting line and everything. But a lot of people, they see, of course, the results, right? They see like, oh, Ellie's there, she's like on the top. But what it's really has been, what it takes for you, how many hours, like, tell me about that hard work and you've been putting there to have the performance that you have right now.
I mean, so much. We're basically training all the time. I do this full time, so I don't have another job or anything. So I guess I'm lucky enough to be able to go kite surfing every day and train every day, which I guess you can see in the improvements a bit. And also I'm still on quite a steep learning curve because I only started a year and a half ago. But yeah, lots of hard work.
Tell me now that you said and you started a year and a half ago. Where are you coming from? What's your background? Were you sailing before? What were you doing before kite racing?
So I was a sailor before. So I was campaigning the 49er FX, which is in another Olympic class, a double hander. It's a very fast boat, but it's very different to this. And then a year and a half ago, or just less than a year and a half ago, the UK developed or started up the Kite for Gold programme, which was basically an initiative to get girls into kite foiling, because apart from Steph Bridge, there was no one else in the UK that kite raced for girls. So they brought loads of girls in, and then we went through the process of getting selected into the team, and now there's 5 of us training. So I swapped from sailing to kite racing a year and a half ago. I could kite surf, like twin tip a little bit, but I'd never really foiled or anything, so we learned most of it out of Mexico actually. So this time last year was a big learning curve, but we're in the perfect place to be able to go on the water every day and all day every day. And then we've just been training quite a lot, training hard ever since.
So when you were saying like full time, is that a really full time? Like how many hours, how many days per week are you putting into training on the water? Like do you have another type of training outside of the water? Like is that a full, or like you take like 3 months, then a break, and then another 3 months or 2 months, a month? Like how is that really, is that full time?
It kind of depends on what we're doing at the time. So out here we've come here for a 6-week block, and then ending with the Pro Tour, which is at the moment. So here we've been doing like 4 days on, one day off, which can be off the water or just playing around kind of thing. But it kind of depends on where we are and what we want to focus on. We're trying to do a lot of gym work as well to get stronger. Because I think, well, in kite racing you have to be really strong. So when we're back home, we do a bit of gym work, and then we go to different places to train with different people. And I think it's really important to try and train with good people as well, which we get here as well. So lots of different things.
Right on. So tell me a little bit of the difference of the type of sailing you were doing before and kite racing. Tell me, like, tell me how many years do you spend sailing the other type of boats, and tell me that difference of between the two of them.
So I was sailing FX for maybe two years full time, pretty much straight out of school. It's one of the fastest Olympic classes, excluding kite racing. So it's a double-handed trapeze boat. So you've got the skipper and the crew. I was a crew. It's quite a physical role, so there's lots of pulling heavy rope and stuff, and like running around, so you have to be quite agile. It was really fun. It was really fun. And also having someone there with you is really fun as well. You have to be really connected and be able to work together really well. So for me, coming into a single-hander was quite difficult to begin with, because I've always had someone else there with me to kind of work together and bounce off of. So then being on your own and learning something totally new by yourself is quite hard. But it is a very different dynamic. And then going into kite racing, and now is even faster. But there's still lots of elements of the sailing that you can adapt to into kite racing. Like a lot of the racing, I'm quite fortunate enough to be fairly clued up on how racing works. And I guess the physical side of it a bit as well. So there's a lot of things that you can bring over from sailing into kite racing, and then you just got to learn how to kite surf, really.
Right.
Just make it sound simple. It's not very simple. Still learning.
Great. And tell me, like for you said that you did, or you don't, or you were doing the other class for about 2 years. What were you doing before that? Were you doing another sport, or were you studying another class?
I was at high school, so I finished school, like normal school, and then didn't go to university. I had a year of just doing lots of sailing, lots of different sailing, in different parts of the world, and then I teamed up with Meg, who I was sailing with, and then we were part of the British sailing team then. So I did that full-time training and travelling around the world to all the events, and then just swapped classes in the British sailing team from that. So that's my story.
and how will you describe the feeling for both? For the feeling of competing, mm-hmm. but competing in hydrofoiling, in a hydrofoil.
Yeah.
Like, what is that you feel inside, and it's like, I want more of that.
It's just so fast, I think, and the adrenaline you get. I think the adrenaline I got from FX sailing when it was really windy and it was crazy, and that almost like freedom of just being on the water, being so fast, that you get sometimes in sailing is all the time in kite surfing, because everything's so fast. Everything moves so fast and so quickly. You almost have to not think about things, because if you think about it, it happens too quickly and you miss opportunities and stuff. Is so fun. And also, just even though you're not with someone else, you're with so many other people. In the kite foiling world, everyone's so friendly, and you're on the water with so many of your good friends and so close to everyone that it's total freedom of the ocean. It's amazing.
Nice. So what will you say, what will you tell to other girls out there that they're not kiting yet, or they're kiting, or they're thinking to start doing some hydrofoiling for racing?
Yeah.
Like, what will you tell them? Like, is it worth it? Like, what will you tell them? Like,
It's totally worth it. It takes a lot of determination to begin with. I think the first big step into hydrofoiling is very challenging, just learning how to tack and jibe. I mean, we were here last year and it took us like 3 months to tack, but just stick at it and just have a positive attitude towards it, and it will be great.